because what I've always told our guys is I'm always going to tell them the truth in every way. And we did, in my opinion, have a good week of practice. That doesn't always translate. That means you're going to play great on Saturday. So this is not a question of effort. It's not a question of want to. There was a lot of reasons we didn't play the way we wanted to play, and but it starts with me, and then it trickles down from there. But we got to make sure that we're better on Saturdays, and this Saturday is going to be our next opportunity to do it.
Obviously, Louisville has a really great offense with arguably the best player in the country. But beyond that, and that natural challenge of trying to stop that, what most disappointed you about what you saw?
I thought as the game went on and we weren't having the success that we were hoping to have coming into the game, that we started to play tentative. And I started to call the game tentative. Everything became tentative because you're trying to plug all the holes that are out there, and sometimes you just got to play. And that's, like I said, that starts with me. I got to give them the opportunity to just play. Did we probably have too much in the game plan to try to stop Lamar Jackson? And sometimes when you have too much, you don't stop anything. And in hindsight, if there was anything I could fix about what I did in preparation, we got too far away from who we are. We're a pattern match team that would like to be a pressure team, and instead we played zone and didn't pressure very much. And that's just so far out of the scope of what we normally do. It was all well-intentioned, but it just, obviously, we weren't comfortable enough to do that in 1 week's preparation.
2 weeks into the season, how surprised are you when you look at the stats and the numbers and you see?
Yeah, I don't know, surprised is the right word, disappointed. Just in general that we're in the spot that we're in. We obviously had high expectations coming into the season, and we haven't lived up to those to this point. But the reality is that we have 10 games on our schedule. So we're kind of at a crossroads on the defensive side that we either get it fixed immediately and finish the season and still have the goals that we want to accomplish as a team intact, or we let this thing slowly disintegrate. And if I know the character of our players and our coaches and everybody that's involved in this organization, we're going to do everything in our power to respond the right way on Saturday and get this ship headed in the right direction.
The buzz phrase after the game was miscommunication. What kind of goes into calling in plays from you to the field and then within the players once they see what's going on?
Well, so generally speaking, we have our huddle call, whatever we signal in as our huddle call defensively. And then we make our adjustments based on formations. And, I'll give you a for example. This wasn't exclusive, but for example, there was a lot of empty in the game, meaning no backs in the backfield, right? So there's always automatics that you get to. Now, as we saw how they were attacking us in empty, we were manipulating how we were playing our empty checks. And to do that, that's not necessarily signaled in as the huddle call because it's a reaction to how they come out in what formation. So getting everybody on the same page, there's a couple times where we weren't. And that starts with me. That's not on the players, but we got to get all on the same page and make sure that within every defense we're all executing at the same level.
How do you sort of specifically address communication though? Like I'm sure, like Coach Fedora said on Monday, you can ask guys, okay, you got it? And they say yes, and you're like, okay, they've got it. And then you find out otherwise in a game. So how do you address some of these issues that, I guess communication specifically?
I think one is trying to create an environment where they feel very comfortable in asking those questions, where you're not. One of the things that I look back on is, as we made some adjustments at halftime, you got it, we got it. But one of the things I've always thought of as a teacher or as a coach, or either one, same thing, is that you get a debrief back. Make them explain it back to you exactly what you meant. And if in that debrief you don't get the answers you want, then clearly you didn't communicate it very well. Well, we didn't debrief after half in a couple of situations, and clearly we weren't all on the same page. But that's just for example to answer your question on things that we can do better, and that's just one way that we can do things better.
Did you see a noticeable difference so far this week in practice as far as the communication part, an uptick, and whether it's emphasis or effort to do it better?
Well, one thing that is true about our guys, no matter what has happened through these first two games, is that they really want to do well. There's no one on our defense, and it starts with the senior leadership, the MJ Stewarts, the Donnie Miles, the Tyler Powells, those guys. They really want to be successful. And I've seen no change in terms of desire to be great this week after last week, and they're working as hard as they can to fix all the things that we feel like we need to fix. I've been really proud of the way we've come out this week.
Do you find that they're more responsive when a staff may acknowledge that ownership for what happened as well? With that, some staffs might point fingers more so.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, and this has always been at least true for me and for our staff, is that, you know, we say we break it down on family all the time. You know, that's kind of our mantra. Well, that includes the coaches. And when things don't go well, you look to the leaders. I mean, and I ultimately am the leader of the defense. And, you know, so it is my responsibility. And I'm always clear to let them know that, because that's why I have the job that I have. And I never want them to feel like I don't have their back. As long as they're giving great effort every game, which in my opinion we've given great effort, then it's always going to fall first on my shoulders.
All right, thanks, y'all. Thanks, Coach.